Hello and welcome to part 1 of our video summarizing all you need to know about Napoleon Bonaparte. My name is Sarah and today we are going to cover the early life of Napoleon in order to give you some background on the character and future emperor. This video is really useful, especially if you are studying French history as part of your coursework and exam, as I'll get into the details you need to know to get top marks. So let's get started with his education. So first of all, Napoleon was born on August 15, 1769, in Ajaccio on the Mediterranean island of Corsica. He was the second of 8 surviving children. Although his parents were members of the minor Corsican nobility, the family was not wealthy. The year before Napoleon's birth, France acquired Corsica from the city-state of Genoa in Italy. Napoleon later adopted a French spelling of his last name. His father was apparently indulgent, but he was also away a lot. He wasn't a strong presence in Bonaparte's later memories of his childhood. But Napoleon clearly paid attention to his father's ambition and inventiveness. His mother, Laetitia, was a formidable woman. She was at the heart of the boy's emotional world. She was spirited, energetic, and she asked a lot of her children. She passed these dynamic traits on to the young Napoleon. So he grew up side by side, mostly with his older brother, Joseph. He was a mild-mannered kid, very different from the lively and assertive Napoleon. It would be 6 years before the birth of the next surviving sibling. As a boy, Napoleon attended school in mainland France, where he learned the French language and went on to graduate from a French military academy in 1785. He then became a second lieutenant in an artillery regiment of the French army. The French Revolution began in 1789, and within 3 years, revolutionaries had overthrown the monarchy and proclaimed a French republic. During the early years of the Revolution, Napoleon was largely on leave from the military and home in Corsica, where he became affiliated with the Jacobins, a pro-democracy political group. In 1793, following a clash with the nationalist Corsican governor Pasquale Paoli, the Bonaparte family fled their native island from mainland France, where Napoleon returned to military duty. In France, Napoleon became associated with Augustin Robespierre, the brother of revolutionary leader Maximilien Robespierre, a Jacobin who was a key force behind the Reign of Terror, a period of violence against enemies of the revolution. During this time, Napoleon was promoted to the rank of Brigadier General in the army. However, after Robespierre fell from power and was guillotined in July 1794, Napoleon was briefly put under house arrest for his ties to the brothers. In 1795, Napoleon helped suppress a royalist insurrection against the revolutionary government in Paris and was promoted to Major General. So on to his military education. To trace the military strand within Napoleon's life, Corsica was a part of France. If noble families like Bonaparte were loyal to France, they could get a leg up by sending their sons to France for school and then a career. So Napoleon's parents wanted the best for their family. In December 1778, Carlo took the 2 boys to France so that Joseph could train for the priesthood and Napoleon for the military. He was 9 years old and didn't see Corsica again for almost 8 years. By all accounts, Napoleon had a hard time during his 6 years at a military academy at Brienne in Champagne. The lifestyle was Spartan and they studied a lot. Napoleon was a scholarship student. He was an outsider and he spoke French with an accent. But the memoirs consistently paint a picture of a willful kid, a loner, stubborn, maybe a little gloomy, and rough around the edges. He was great at math and even earned a prize in that subject. About history, later on he wrote history I conquered rather than studied, onto an early obsession with reading and politics. So Napoleon studied next at the elite military academy in Paris. He was the first Corsican to graduate from there and was ranked 42nd out of the class of 58. He was given a position as an officer in the artillery in 1785. The central building of the École Militaire complex in Paris accepted the young Napoleon Bonaparte in 1784. As a young officer stationed in the south of France, he had plenty of practical training, how to fire a cannon, how to position a battery, but he also read avidly. Apparently, he would skimp on money for food to buy enough books. He read all kinds of things. The Enlightenment produced military theologians, and after France's defeat in the 7 Years' War, the French military was working to reform itself. Besides his fascination with military authors, his letters also reveal that he was frustrated about his career possibilities. In the late old regime, no one from such a low noble background could ever make it far up the officer ranks. The revolution would change all that. At this early stage of his life, the young military man had another side. He was intrigued by politics. He wolfed down works by Enlightenment political thinkers. Napoleon thought about politics through the lens of his homeland, Corsica. To understand how he learned about politics and how he became a French revolutionary, we have to take a detour back to Corsica. In 1769, just months before Napoleon was born, the French had annexed Corsica and crushed its independence movement. Napoleon's own father had fought in that independence movement, so Napoleon grew up hearing stories of Corsican heroism. As a student, a young soldier, he was obsessed with Corsican politics. In his useful writings, he was poetic and patriotic about his homeland. He ranted against despotic government in general, but especially in France. So that's it for this first part. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. And also do subscribe to our channel where we offer free materials that you can use as part of your studies to really get a better grasp of specific areas you might find challenging. Make sure to visit our website as well, where you'll find useful revision guides, model answers, and tools to get top marks. Thank you for listening!